G'day there. Today we're going to be having a look at high voltage capacitors made from plastic cups and tin foil. So we're going to be needing some plastic cups. Doesn't really matter what sort, I've got a whole variety here. We've got a whole bunch of different size clear plastic ones. Some of these white ones. I've got some snazzy sort of semi-transparent purple ones. And some of these black ones. These ones are the only ones that stand out. As you can see there, they're marked with the number 6 in the little triangle, recycling triangle, and marked with the letters PS, that stands for polystyrene. Whereas all these others are all marked with the number 5 and PP for polypropylene. I've tested both, they have pretty similar electrical dielectric strength. So it doesn't really matter which ones you choose, it's down to which ones you can find the cheapest ultimately. Same with these white ones, these are polypropylene. The polystyrene ones are kind of rare, I only found them in one shop. So let's get started. We'll want a couple of these cups. 3 is about the minimum you want to use. Can do it with 2, but it's a bit dangerous. You'll see why in a minute. And lay it on its side. And remember, this is the quick and dirty method. There are neater ways to do this. We're going to pull out way too much foil. I'm going to cut that off. Enough foil to go down the side of the cup. Beautiful. Now, I only need 1 cup for the moment. And I'm going to wrap this foil down a good bit from the top. This is very important. And I'm not going to worry about getting a perfect arc or having it perfectly neat. There's a bit of a tear there, that's okay. This is the quick and dirty method. And we're going to stick a bit of wire on and hold that on with our thumb on the foil. And we're going to get a piece of electrical tape, which I prepared earlier. It's not actually electrical tape, sorry, it's just random duct tape that I had lying around. It does help improve things. It doesn't have fantastic electrical insulation abilities, but it does have some insulation ability. And there we go, we've got one really sloppily taped on bit of foil on a plastic cup. There's rips and stuff in it, that's all crinkly. None of that matters. I'm not going to push it flat on the bottom because that's going to happen when we stick it in the next cup. So we'll go ahead and jam it into the next cup. I probably could stick some more foil in the bottom there. It does make a difference. I've got some scraps over here. Let's just stuff a few of those in there. Some more cups from messing around earlier today. A bit more, won't hurt. Alright, jam that down in there. That's better. It's not too hard, so you crush the cup. Alright, notice I've filled up the bottom. That will make a big difference in the amount of farads your capacitor has. Pushing it in there nice and tight. The smaller we can squish that foil down, the smaller the gap's going to be, the better this capacitor is going to work. Alright, now we'll do the same thing again. I'll try not to pull out so much foil this time. Out there. I do want a bit to come off the bottom. Wrap it around. Bit down from the top. Bit of wire. Bit of tape. Wrap the tape around. Adding extra layers of tape would probably help, but as I mentioned before, I've tested this tape for its dielectric strength and it's not fantastic. The voltages I'm going to be running on this capacitor, it's not really going to make a lot of difference. And this third cup is purely so I can handle the thing without touching the foil. And there you go. What did that take us? About 2 minutes, and we've got a high voltage capacitor. We'll verify the farads with the capacitance meter. I'm going to use the fancy capacitance meter. This one's not the most accurate. I'll make sure I set it to the right range. Yeah, what have I done? Try that again. There we go, we're in capacitance range. Cut the backlight on for you. up to there. Now this, I've used red and black wires, but this is not a polarised capacitor, it doesn't matter which way you use it. And I'm measuring this one at 0.225 nanofarads or 225 pictofarads. So there you go. Now, let's go and see how it handles some high voltage. Now obviously, before we do that, I'll go quickly have a look at some of these other ones I made earlier. This one's got about 1500 pictofarads or 1.5 nanofarads. It's got 3 layers of foil on the black side and 2 layers on the red side. I'll just jump the wire out like that. There's a connector. There's 2 jumpers on this side. 1, 2. And a connector. Now this one I got a bit greedy. You do get more farads by bringing your foil closer to the top of the cup, but you also get more chance that it's going to arc out around the cup. And this one I got greedy and I put the foil up way too high. I think you can see a bit on the inside there. See that black line? I've got foil right up to the rim on some of those cups. And I was relying purely on the electrical tape and it did not work. We will demonstrate that in a minute. I found the polystyrene cups work pretty good. These guys do hold a lot of capacitance on the skin of the polystyrene. If you're familiar with the small green capacitors that you've seen in a lot of componentry, they are polystyrene capacitors. And I actually tested one of these out, shorted out the leads, cleared the foil, and then pulled it all apart, and just in handling one of the cups, I think it was probably the one that was on the outside, the protective cup, on its own, I did get zapped. And there was a good 1.5 inches of spark, so probably 20,000 volts or something. Tiny amount of current, so it didn't do me much harm. Jumped a bit, that was about it. And what else we got? These 2 caps I have actually popped. This one's worked quite well, it's about 500 pictofarads, and it was working quite well for some time. I was getting all set to make a Tesla coil with it, and it just went pop. And I'm not sure why. Could be to do with the way I'm sticking the wires in. I'm not sure if we can see in there well with the camera. But there is a black spot down there near where that wire connects, where the wire has been arcing to the foil. Anyway, let's go and have a look at these 2 guys on the high voltage. I've recharged up my high voltage driver. It's all new transistors, all new flyback, all new fan, because the old stuff blew up because I pushed it too hard. Now, first let's have a look at what happens when you fail with the foil and go too close to the top. Turn my fan on. My fan runs on a different voltage, so I start that first. Help get the heatsink cooling down in advance. Hook up a lead there. There's my black wire. Hook up a lead here. Hook up the other end of that to my positive high voltage. Alright, and I shall put the power on. I think you could see that arcing out on the outside of the capacitor there. Alright, that's a fail. I got greedy. I put too much foil up. Now, one thing I did want to try out, which I'm going to show you because it's not worth trying again, this lanolin spray, and you get various different brands, is non-conductive to 70 kilovolts, it says. Well, and protects circuit boards and switch gear and points and stuff. I do recommend using this on your points in your car if you've got them, or your battery terminals. It's great stuff. It does reduce arcing and damage, but I don't think I've got 70 kilovolts here. Probably closer to 50. Might be 60 kilovolts. I don't know if you saw that, but there was a fireball there when that started up. And it didn't help the arcing one bit. I'm arcing out all over the place. Now, if you do happen to do this, and you leave it on, arcing like that, sorry about that, you can start a fire if you leave those capacitors arcing out. And I don't know if you can see that hole just in there. I'll fire that up again briefly so you can have another see. That smells terrible, and it's only a matter of time before it sets my cups on fire. So don't get greedy. But if you do things correctly, throw that one over there, get this one, I'll put my camera back on the tripod. That one connected, get this one connected, stick that where I can arc to it. Oh, let's stick that one where we can arc to it. Use a big end rather than a pointy end. Alright. Now we can see that this capacitor works quite well. For high voltage. And there's a ruler there. Give you a close-up look at the scale. 7 centimetres in total. There's the 4 centimetres and the 5 centimetres mark. So that gives you an idea of the gap we're dealing with there. Let's zoom in and have another look. Right, so you're probably wondering, what's that output look like without the capacitor? I'll just disconnect it for a sec. I'll take that off too. Oops, there goes the camera. There we go. Get that a bit closer if we can. Look at that. Beautiful. So there's 30 to 40 centimetre arcs there. Sorry, 30 to 40 millimetre arcs. Now, that's a bit boring, so let's go back to this capacitor. There you go, folks. That's my nice, simple, easy to make high voltage cup capacitors, or cup caps as I like to call them. You can also improve probably the arcing around the sides here a bit if you were to, and also the leakage. They are very leaky capacitors if you submerge them in oil. I might do another video on that. Okay, thanks for watching.